So, let's talk about this Candace Parker situation. It's like, since Candace Parker announced that she's married to a woman and expecting a baby, like, a lot of people have had an opinion of this. They've had an opinion of it, whether good or bad. That it's just like, come on. You love Candace Parker when she's playing and she's winning awards. She goes home to Chicago and she leads them to a championship in the first year. You have no problems. But now that she's come out talking about her personal life, everybody seems to have an issue with that. I'm just not understanding. Like, Candace Parker and her wife held this in for 2 years. Like, salute to your friends. You guys must have really good friends to keep your secret for 2 years and not tell it. The average person would have told your business in like 5 seconds or less of being around you. Like, I know I've read that Petra is a very private person, and this is why it's taken long to tell that they were married 2 years ago and that they're expecting a baby. So, if anybody knows, their anniversary was the other day. So, I think that's why Candace Parker broke the news of them being married. Them being married and expecting a baby. People keep making it seem as though Candace Parker did something wrong by speaking her truth. No, Candace Parker is living and breathing and walking in her truth. Yes, she was once married to a man. She was married to Sheldon Williams, if anybody remembers him. Sheldon Williams played for Duke University. He played in the NBA for a little bit, and then he wasn't in the NBA anymore. They were married. They had a kid, which is Layla, and then they ended up divorcing. So, Candace Parker ended up having Layla. And she has Layla with her basically 24/7. So, when Candace Parker goes everywhere, whether it's overseas, and in Russia, that's where she met Petra, her now we know as her wife. She met her in Russia, because if anybody follows in WNBA players play their season, then they go overseas to play the rest of the year until the WNBA next season starts. So, with Candace being over in Russia, that's where she met her wife Petra. Now, if anybody's been following like FIBA basketball and like overseas basketball, this is not the first time you've seen Petra. This is not the first time you've seen a picture of Candace Parker and Petra together. There was a picture that had been floating online for like months now of them two. And a lot of people was just like, oh, that's Candace Parker's teammate on the Russian team. All the while, behold, that is now Candace Parker's wife. Now, a little bit of research. Russia is not one of the places that accepts the LGBTQ+. So, that is not a place where Petra and Candace could stay or be at as far as overseas. So if Candace Parker so chooses to go back to play overseas, Russia, Turkey, and I think it's a third country they can't go to. They're not accepting of same-sex marriage. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works. I don't think Candace Parker has played overseas basketball in a while, actually. So I don't think it's going to be really a factor, because Candace Parker, during the off-season of the WNBA, she's an analyst for the NBA on TNT. So that pretty much settles the overseas thing. Unless Candace Parker just wants to go overseas for a last hoorah, I don't see her going overseas again, unless vacation or something. But to play basketball, I don't see it. Unless it's like an initiative with Adidas basketball and her Ace collection through Adidas. Other than that, I don't see her going out the country. I've seen a lot of fans say a lot of different things over the last 2 days about Candace Parker coming out and saying that she's married to a woman and expecting a baby. So a lot of people had the question of, well, how is Candace Parker's wife pregnant? Okay, in vitro fertilization is how Petra's pregnant with the baby. That is the process that women use when a man is not involved. So we know Petra is pregnant. We just don't know when she's gonna have the baby. That's pretty much how that's working. Just have to wait and see. But there's been a lot of different comments and things about Candace Parker. A lot of negative things people have been saying about Candace Parker, like about the fact of, why did she come out and tell what her situation is? Well, why not? Everybody's had the question for the last probably year and some about the wedding band she's been rocking, and everybody knew that at one point she was married, then divorced. So it's like, okay, you're wearing a wedding ring, but nobody knew about this person that you've been married to and dealing with, other than both of y'all's close friends. So I don't think it was a team issue or a WNBA issue, as a lot of people are trying to make it out to be. Candace Parker wouldn't have an issue coming out, especially as far as her Chicago Sky teammates, because Courtney Vandersloot and Allie Quigley are married, and they're on the team together. Stephanie Dawson's on the team, and they're openly lesbian. So I don't understand what the fuss is. But on the other hand, it's like, because Candace Parker is black and a major figure in the WNBA and in basketball in general, that people are making a big issue of it. They're making a big issue of it. So it's like, white players can come out that they're gay, they're lesbian, they're transgender, or whatever they want to identify in the LGBTQ+. But when a black player does it, of, I guess, like the stature that Candace Parker has, that is like, oh my gosh, why did Candace Parker tell her truth? And the fact of the matter is, Candace Parker must be comfortable enough and happy enough to now be able to say what her truth is. So why are people mad with her announcing that she's lesbian and she got a wife? Like, it doesn't hurt anybody. And I'm seeing people say, oh, they're not going to be fans of her anymore. You were never really a fan then. If you feel the need to not support a player because of their sexual orientation, you were never a fan. That's just what that comes out to be. You were never a fan. Because we all know Sue Bird's engaged to Megan Rapinoe for soccer. Then Sue Bird's teammate Breonna Stewart got engaged last year and had a baby. So it's like, white players can be openly lesbian and it's accepted, but when a high profile black player tells their truth, it's just like, oh my god, I'm disgusted. Why did you have to share that part of your life with us? How do you support a player and not want to know about their life? There's much more to Candace Parker than being a WNBA player, a mother, a legend, 2-time champion. Like, there's way more to her than these things. So if telling the world that she's a lesbian and she's married to a woman and expecting a baby is what Candace had to do for her sanity and her comfort and her sake of, acceptance of what is her new life, so be it. Like, a lot of people are talking about some of the younger black WNBA players that are lesbian. Courtney Williams, Brittany Griner, she's, I believe, married. But it's like the handling even of with the black players is not the same as the white players. The only black player that media covered far as them being engaged or married was Brianne January. And Renee Montgomery. They're the only two black lesbian WNBA ex-WNBA players that media's covered. People covered Renee Montgomery and her wife. And then another outlet covered Brianne January and her wife. But the media coverage is never the same as when a white counterpart comes out with the same information. I've been reading and hearing so many negative comments about Candace Parker in the last few days that it's just like, I'm sick of hearing about it. Like, people are questioning about the fact of most of the players in the WNBA are lesbian. So what? You're not watching it for their sexual orientation. You're watching it for the fact that these players play basketball at a high level and compete. That they're legends or future legends in the making. So you downing them about sexual orientation has nothing to do with their skill on the basketball court. Because I'm pretty sure Candace Parker is going to do an interview somewhere and address about the fact of how media and the fans have taken about her coming out. I'm pretty sure she will. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of people that accept it. You're going to have a lot of people that don't accept it. But this is my thing. If you don't accept LGBTQ+, that's fine. But to say that it's disgusting, it's disgraceful, it just shows that you're homophobic. You don't respect certain things. You love Candace Parker for everything she does on the court, but you don't love that part of her or won't respect that part of her. Go tell Sue Bird that. Better yet, go tell the GOAT, as far as the WNBA, Diana Taurasi, that you don't accept the fact that she's lesbian and that she's married to a woman and has 2 kids. Go tell Diana Taurasi that, and Penny Taylor. Go tell Breonna Stewart that, and her wife and her kid that. You won't, because social media and society is fine with it when it comes to white players coming out that they are lesbian, gay, transgender. It's been on YouTube, it's been a lot of people that have been talking about Candace Parker and her coming out. Cool. Her coming out is not a problem. She's walking in her truth, and I think a lot more people, if they were walking their truth, they would be happy. They would be happy with themselves. But no, you get online, you bash Candace Parker for walking in her truth and being happy. And then you're questioning whether she's straight, she's bi, she's lesbian, whatever she is. I would say that she's bi because she was once married to a man. She is with a woman now, so I would say bi. But that may not be what she sees herself as. But the thing of it is the negativity, society makes it okay for certain things in certain communities. Like, in the black community, being black and being gay is like the worst thing ever. But in the white community, being gay is not the worst thing ever, and they're treated a certain way. They're broadcasted everywhere, and people are very accepting of them. Candace Parker walking in her truth, living in her truth, like blessings, peace and blessings to you, because you're gonna be the role model for possibly another player to come out and walk in their truth and feel comfortable enough to do it because you did it. Yes, you had other players, openly gay or whatever, but you did it, and the way that you're going about it is respected, that somebody's going to see it and be able to tell their truth, and hopefully they don't have to go through the rudeness and the disrespectful comments that I'm reading about Candace Parker and her wife. And a lot of people have an issue with the fact that Candace Parker is married to a woman. So what? If she was married to a man and she divorced her husband, which she did, you were mad about that. So she wasn't happy in one situation and she moved on. Like, people are free to be with who they want to be with, and they don't have to just date one gender. Whatever they identify with, whatever makes them happy, that's what you do and that's who you go with. But it's something with society that just, people just have to be negative nannies. Like, if you're homophobic, you don't respect the LGBTQ+, that's cool and that's fine. But you don't have to go on somebody's post writing, you hate Candace Parker, the WNBA is full of lesbians, that's why people don't watch the WNBA. Some of these things may be true, but that is just strictly your opinion. So, yes, they did a poll. I believe a nice percentage of the WNBA players are lesbians. So what? What does that have to do with what they do professionally out there on the basketball court? And beyond just Candace Parker, you have a lot of men that are quick to say that is a reason why they don't let their daughters watch the WNBA. I think that is a weak excuse for not letting your daughter see women play professional basketball. Whatever your feelings are about the league is one thing, but not letting your daughter watch women play basketball is another thing. Especially if your daughter comes to you saying she wants to play it in WNBA. Like, I can't understand it. I can't respect it. Sometimes as adults and as parents, you have to think for your kids. WNBA has a lot of great role models, but I think when people find out about their personal lives, that overwrites and overshadows anything that a player has done. So it's crazy. Because, prime example is Natasha Cloud for the Washington Mystics. I saw on her post that a father said he don't let his daughter watch the WNBA, or better yet, follow WNBA players in their personal lives. Okay, cool. Your daughter is young. She doesn't need to know the personal life of a WNBA player. She doesn't need to follow them. Be a fan of them, and you monitor what you let your daughter see on social media too. But to just flat out not let her see the greatness that is the WNBA, the young talent, the up-and-coming talent, the future legends, because you just assume they're all bunch of lesbians is outright just pathetic. It's pathetic. Because in other sports, you have players that are gay and it's accepted. The guy that plays for the Las Vegas Raiders, I don't know what his name is, but he came out that he was gay, and he ended up having a top selling jersey for us, the Raiders. So that's what I'm saying. White counterparts can come out with their orientation and still be accepted. They'll sell out. Their jerseys will sell out quicker with them coming out, and it's just another day for them. A black athlete comes out that they're gay, they're lesbian, whatever, as far as LGBTQ+, and it's met with why? Why did you come out? But you're not asking white athletes this. And stop saying it's a publicity stunt for why a lot of these athletes are coming out too. It's not a publicity stunt. It's called walking in your truth and finding your happiness and accepting you. I think that's the biggest thing about society. A lot of people are not happy with them, so they want to go down somebody else because they're not happy. You know, when people learn to accept them, they'll learn to accept everybody else. Even if you don't accept it, you still gotta be respectful to people. You gotta be respectful to people. The guy that plays for the Raiders, he's a good player. Him being white, you know, it was a storyline and different things. Like I said, the highest selling, his jersey sold out. The guy that, what is his name? The guy that came out as gay a couple of years ago before the draft, and then he had issues as far as the draft. I think was it the Rams or the Cowboys drafted him, but he didn't last in the NFL because of his sexual orientation, and he was black. That's what I'm saying. The handling of black athletes and their sexual orientation is definitely different than white counterparts. People don't want to say it, don't want to admit it, but even the coverage of certain things is not the same. A lot of these stories are broke by the WNBA players on their social medias, and then some of these publications pick up these stories. As far as the NFL, these people go and find these people and find their stories. Like, I'm not understanding. I just don't understand. It's just weird. It's weird. Like, that is just my opinion of Candace Parker is happy. Her wife is happy, expecting a baby. Layla's happy. Like, salute to Layla in her 2020 game that she had the other day. And Layla's in 7th grade. She had a 2020 monster game. Like, Candace Parker's daughter, Layla, is going to be something special if she keeps at basketball the way that she's doing it. She's going to be something special. You know, she's in the gym a lot with her mother, so you know them skills and them G's are going to pass down to her. And she's like 6 foot something already in 7th grade. Yeah, she's going to be a future WNBA player. Mark my words. And especially if Candace Parker has anything to do, her mother has anything to do with it. So it's just weird. It's just weird. Courtney Williams, people knew that she was lesbian. You saw, if you follow Courtney Williams on social media, her and Glamorous Ante, which was her girlfriend, she would be at the games along with her dad. So it's like, certain people we knew because their social medias tell it, you know. But they're younger players, and they're not getting scrutinized. They're not getting scrutinized the same way it seems for me that Candace Parker is getting scrutinized. And whether people want to say it, Candace Parker being black has a lot to do with it. Candace Parker being black has a lot to do with the handling of her telling her story and walking in her truth of what her newfound life is. So I don't care what people want to say. Candace Parker being black makes a big difference. If she was white, this would be on every channel. It'd be on every channel and everybody would be covering, trying to get interviews. I haven't seen yet one interview or anybody cover about Candace Parker other than like the WNBA sites. So that speaks for itself. But like, that's just my opinion of the situation. Things are gonna be how they're gonna be. And Candace Parker obviously don't need to hide no more, and she's comfortable with what her situation is. And fans are even gonna hate it or love it. I see a lot of fans are hating it right about now, but it is what it is. It is what it is, you know. I see it as, if you have anything negative to say, you weren't a fan. You weren't a fan. Like, being critical of the situation is not gonna work. It's not gonna work, you know. Being critical of her, it's not gonna work. It doesn't seem like it's gonna break her. Candace Parker seems to be a very strong woman and moves strategically in the choices that she makes. So I just had to say about that, because I've been on social media over the last few days having different, you know, discussions and debates about, since this news has come out about Candace Parker, her wife, and expecting a baby. And, you know, I just had to address that factor. A couple of things that people didn't want to talk about, but I said I was going to mention it. So this is just my take on it.